I apologize in advance for my really bad editing. This video was really boring to edit. I hate tutorials. I know that now. Also, we can all collectively ignore the cropping. Hello, insert pictures on screen here. I'm gonna do a wig styling tutorial because my wigs are peak, trust. Editing shroom here. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I've been doing this. I've only been styling wigs for, I think, 2 years. I'm not a professional. We're styling Fyodor today. The first thing I want to talk about is the type of stand that you have really makes a difference in my experience. You can use styrofoam heads, but I really like these ones better, the canvas ones. I also like that I can keep it steady. The other thing is that I always put a T-pin in the top to keep it in place, and then also you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to see it, but I also put a T-pin in like the back bottom of the wig on both sides. So that's 3. So that's like 3 T-pins. Yeah. First step is crimping. Okay, I'm gonna talk while I get this set up. So, obviously you don't have to crimp wigs to style them, but this is a tutorial on how I style my wigs. So yeah, we're crimping. And then a comb. That's very important. While we wait for the thing to heat up, I'll talk a little bit about styling. Or about crimping. Some people crimp like flat pieces. I don't do that. I crimp, I'll take sections like this and crimp it like sideways. And then every time I crimp a section, I run a comb through it. The first thing I'm gonna do though is like just comb through the hair first. The other thing that's important for me when styling wigs is clips. I like to style in a very specific way. So I'm gonna separate the hair. So like this is the section that I have right now. I usually do like 1.5 inches or 2 inches of of layers. Okay, that way I can crimp that much before I move on to the next section. It's not perfect. Do I care though? No. And then this should be, yeah, this is warm right now. So I'm gonna do just like probably just 1 strand so you can see how I crimp, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Pick up a piece, make sure it's not too thick, because if it's too thick then it will take longer. I clamp it like this, and then I'll hold it there for a few seconds, and then I move it down the line, and then I do it again, and then I move it further, and again, and then I do the last bit. The more you crimp, the more texture it adds. Basically what you're doing when you crimp is you're burning because it's synthetic, you're burning it so that it creates texture. And you can't really see it because it's a black wig. There is a difference. I don't know how well you can see the difference. Oh, my air just turned off. I don't know how well you can see the difference, but there is in fact a difference between the way it looks. The rest I'm gonna do off camera. I have finished crimping. It only took me a little under 2 hours. I hate crimping so much, by the way, if we didn't already know this about me. Let me tighten it. Next step is the cutting process. What I have is a brush that I specifically only use on wigs, as you can see from the wig hair in it. I have thinning shears, normal cutting scissors, and I forget what this is called. If you don't have like thinning shears, you don't have to have the fancy scissors and stuff. You really only need the normal scissors. I just find it easier with the other stuff. So what I'm gonna do is pull up a reference photo. I personally take my reference photos from the manga, but that's just personal preference. You can take it from the anime or wherever you want. I'm gonna use this as a reference just because you can see his hair really well in that. I'll probably use multiple reference photos, but that's gonna be my main one. Let's start with I usually start with the front because I don't really have to do much to the back. I have to like layer stuff, but that's about it. I think I'm gonna keep most of the length. I like this, I do like this length. If I decide I want it shorter, then I'll cut it shorter after I try the wig on. I hate having wig hair everywhere, so this is gonna be a pain. But here, I'll position it so that you can actually see me doing the work. Okay, so this is I'm definitely gonna add like face framing pieces because this is not very face framing right now, and that's a little annoying. So what I'm gonna do is take my normal scissors and glide them down. I'm like not doing much at a time because I don't wanna, you can always take more away and you can never put anything back. It's not perfect, but I'll fix it versus like the just straight strand. Yeah, okay. I angle my scissors a little bit and then I cut like this, okay? That's great. Now I have to do the other side. I'm gonna start with the middle because that's arguably one of the most important parts. It really stands out and you can tell because it's like in the middle of your face. I've finished layering. I have a straightener and now I'm going to be actually styling. This is my favorite part. I hate crimping. Thinning and cutting is okay. For the styling, oh my god, there's so much hair on my floor. Usually I like to separate into at least 2 layers for styling. Sometimes more depending on how many layers there are in the haircut. And curling it over. And since it's heated, I can like do what I want with it. For the underneath pieces, you can curl it inwards like that. It creates a gap where between your face and like your neck and stuff. I prefer to like take it in and then curl it slightly at the bottom, just slightly. That way it like is kind of flat on the thing. Or you can like go like this. You can like have it going forward a bit if you wanted, or even back. I kind of like how that looks though. So I'll see you when I'm done with the rest of this part. So that didn't take long, as you could have guessed. I was just straightening in the bottom part. So this is what it's looking like. The back also looks pretty fine. There is a lot of texture. I could straighten that out, but I'm not too worried about it because this is gonna cover it. You probably shouldn't do this in an enclosed space like I am, but you know, normally when I do my last layer of hairspray, I take it off of the table so that I can like get to every part of it. Editing Shroom here again. I'm like really bad at explaining anything for some reason. I'm not sure. I've never done a tutorial before, guys. But yeah. I use a lot of hairspray. I know, before any of you go and comment, that's a lot of hairspray. Yes, I know. I'm well aware it's a lot of hairspray. But my wigs stay the way I style them. And that's all I care about. And they're not crunchy either because when the amount of hairspray I use, I can brush it out and it still stays in the same position. But yeah, guys. If you have questions, comment, because I know I'm like really bad at explaining. My fault. Also, I ended up trying on the wig the next day, and I fixed things that I didn't like. So you can do that. It's your wig. Do what you want with it.